Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing well. We are currently in a quantum supercomputer called Earth. Inside of this computer, we've been fractalized into physical avatars. The cult of scientism promotes the idea that we are purely physical, three-dimensional beings with no inherent divine qualities. Scientism's heavy indoctrination all around us aims to hide the fact that we are electromagnetic beings who are in full control of our fate and the fate of humanity. We are not just physical, we are multi-layered. Within the aura, there are 7 layers, like the layers of an onion. If you could see the invisible, you would witness energy moving in and out of all of these bodies, based on your thoughts, actions, intent, diet, everything. And since all of these bodies are connected, it's important to keep them healthy and free of toxicity. Not only are we multi-layered beings, but we are multi-dimensional, existing in different dimensions and timelines all at once. Right now, we are restrained by time and space, which are constructs of the physical. Time makes us perceive that what we are experiencing is linear, but in fact, we are only experiencing a fraction of the bigger picture. Alternate realities exist alongside our own, which oftentimes bleed into this current reality. So what we call synchronicity, glitches in the matrix, coincidences, the Mandela effect, déjà vu, these are all us experiencing a merging of alternate realities. Yes, I'm saying that we are consistently jumping through alternate dimensions and timelines. So we live on a flat plane, and it's 100% akin to a simulation. When you break down a video game or computer screen to its basics, you get geometric shapes, pixels that make up what we see as a whole. If our universe is a simulation, it must also be made up of tiny repeating shapes as well. That's what atoms, electrons, quarks, etc. are. Small bits of information, pixels if you will, that make up the whole. Every atom, electron, and quark is indistinguishable from one another, but together they build up everything around us. In a video game, only the areas that are being witnessed by the character are visible. Likewise, in quantum mechanics, particles do not have a definite state unless they're being observed. Many theorists have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to explain this, but the fact is, we are in a sort of organic simulation, only seeing what we need to see when we need to see it. A galvanic cell is an electrochemical cell that derives electrical energy from reactions taking place within the cell. It generally consists of an anode and a cathode connected by a salt bridge. In simple terms, galvanic cells are devices that use a chemical reaction to create electricity. A battery is a galvanic cell. The anode is the source of electrons, and the cathode is where the electrons flow. Once again, we live in a quantum supercomputer. Earth is its own power source, being both a computer and a galvanic cell, a battery which powers itself. What we call the Arctic Circle is the anode, and the Antarctica ice wall is the cathode. The salt bridge which connects these two components is the vast amount of salt water that covers our plane. Salt water actually makes a very effective electrolytic solution to conduct electricity and move electrons from the anode to the cathode. We can demonstrate this easily by making a homemade saltwater battery with its own anode and cathode. You can see here it's being used to power a clock. The ocean's saltwater provides the necessary conditions for the poles to create self-perpetuating free energy anywhere, anytime. This energy exists in the aether realm, and the aether permeates everything. This free energy is what Nikola Tesla was harnessing with his inventions. Tesla knew about the Earth's generative abilities, and his inventions harnessed the electricity from the aether realm. The dome above our heads holds together the energy produced in the aether. The stars and planets are revolving sonoluminescent lights projected onto the dome that imprint the aether with the simulation's dynamic events, archetypes, and possibilities. That is what astrology is, the ever-influencing clockwork of this quantum supercomputer. So one big battery, that's what we're on. Flat Earth is one big battery. Now, to add to this understanding, we have the sun and the moon. The sun gives us the galvanic battery's energy produced from the north and south poles connected by the saltwater bridge. And the moon recycles this energy. There are two parallel dimensions on this Earth. We are currently residing in outer Earth. Below us is what we could call inner Earth. Now, if you've been following my videos, you have a good understanding of the function of the black sun, which exists in inner Earth. The aether, again, contains the natural electromagnetic energy created by this giant galvanic battery we're living on. The aurora lights are the natural divine green rays shooting out from the black sun. The black sun takes our intent and sends it into the aether realm via this green astral energy. Essentially, we are batteries that power this battery. Our individual and collective electromagnetic frequencies are consistently interacting with the free electricity of the aether. Like I said earlier, the Arctic Circle is Earth's anode. One definition of anode is the terminal by which current enters a battery. The current entering this Earth battery is the aurora borealis, shooting out from the center opening. Our compasses actually point to this area. Through this opening is what the Greeks referred to as Hyperborea. It's also been called Agartha, Shambhala, the Garden of Eden. The moon's square waves do not reach past the center opening. The energy extraction matrix we're in does not extend past upper Earth. For these reasons, my blood brethren and I are expecting to take a mass exodus to the center. 2019 is the date we've decided upon, and in my last video, I gave a rough game plan. The closer we get, the more details will be revealed. If you haven't spilt your blood over your intent, you will not be allowed to come with us. I've explained blood over intent over and over again, but if you're new, I'm letting you know. Blood over intent is a practice where we're aligning ourselves with divine intent with our blood. Our blood is spiritual currency, and positive metaphysical transformations occur when we take part in this alchemy. Side by side, we're publishing it to the internet, which is connected to the aether, and therefore, our blood magic is reshaping the fabric of reality. The more our blood magic sinks in, the closer we are to getting to Hyperborea. Write down, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth, spill a few drops of blood on it, and upload it to YouTube. This center opening is essentially an exit out of this matrix, where we will have an opportunity to eject ourselves from this quantum supercomputer. My independent research has proved over and over again, past the aurora borealis is where we will defeat time and become immortal. These body prisons will go through a metaphysical transformation, and we will finally experience the superhuman abilities that were taken away from us on this side of the fence. In 2019, we are opening the gates to paradise. If you are severely confused, please check out my other videos. This quantum supercomputer called Earth is not an actual computer, like many simulation theorists suggest, but one that is generated by the Black Sun, the womb of creation. In Norse mythology, Ginnungagap refers to the Black Sun. Ginnungagap is the abyss in which all life sprang from at the beginning of the cosmos. As the Eddic poem Volupsa writes, that was the age when nothing was. There was no sand, nor sea, nor cool waves. No earth, nor sky, nor grass there. Only Ginnungagap. In the Norse conception of the world, at the center existed the Bifrost Bridge, a bridge that only those with true divine intent could cross in order to go from Midgard, meaning Earth, to Asgard, the abode of the gods. Those who spill their blood over their written intent are aligning themselves with the proper principles in order to pass Heimdallr, the protector of the Bifrost Bridge, to be transported into Asgard. As I've been explaining in my videos, we live on a flat plane, and at the center, where the Aurora Borealis or astral light shoots out, is an exit hole into a parallel dimension that over the years has been called Eden, Agartha, and Hyperborea. In Peter Moon's book, The Black Sun, he describes Hyperborea as being beyond the pole, positioned outside of this dimension. In ancient Greece, Pythagoras was highly associated with Hyperborea. Aristotle reports that the Greeks called Pythagoras the Hyperborean Apollo, suggesting many of his teachings actually came from knowledge originating below us. In Pythagorean teachings, the Earth itself geometrically unfolds from a void in the center. This unfolding of the universe from the void is simply the function of the Black Sun. The Black Sun is the void of creation itself. Robert Flood once said, "Man is a whole world of its own, called microcosm, for it displays a miniature pattern of all the parts of the universe." It's true, we are microcosms of the macrocosm. Within every cell and molecule of our bodies dwells a miniature Black Sun. The Black Sun itself is the womb of potentiality that is the source of all life. It's the direct experience and expression of the primordial feminine force, the womb of the universe. We are all birthed from our mothers, a dark womb that brings forth life. In the same vein, everything in this realm was initially birthed from the Black Sun. The Hindu goddess Kali is the Black Sun, serving as the archetypal image of the birth and death mother, simultaneously the womb and the tomb, the giver of life, as well as the devourer of her children. This is because we are working in tandem with the Black Sun's energy. The Black Sun turns our intent, our fears, our goals, and turns them into reality. It's the basis of our creative abilities, the organic machine that keeps this realm and its workings intact. Those who know the power of the Black Sun can use it for good or evil, and like Kali, she can give life or devour her own children. It responds to all intents. In Egyptian mythology, Ma'at is the Black Sun. To the Egyptian mind, Ma'at bound all things together in an indestructible unity. The universe, its workings, and the individual were all seen as parts of the wider order generated by Ma'at. She set the order of the universe from chaos at the moment of creation, the primordial womb. Isfet is the counterpart of Ma'at. Isfet and Ma'at are like two parts of the same. One could not exist without the other. Ma'at is truth and order. Isfet is injustice and chaos. Both of them combined provide the same principles that Kali represents. The fact that our intent is materialized by the Black Sun, good or evil. The Egyptian coffin texts explain that you must be cleansed of Isfet in order to be reborn into Duat. This is akin to the flaming sword protecting Eden, explained in the Bible, and Heimdallr in Norse mythology, who protects the Bifrost Bridge to Asgard. One can only pass with true divine intent. This is why me and my blood brethren are aligning ourselves with the intent to bring forth heaven on earth. We're uploading it to the internet, which is directly connected to the etheric plane. Anybody with this divine intent will be allowed to pass the flaming sword at the center of our plane. So we must be cleansed of Isfet, or injustice, in order to be reborn into Duat. Duat is the underworld, the world underneath, where gods and other supernatural beings reside. It's the same thing as Asgard, paradise of the gods, just in a different mythology. It's said that those with balanced hearts would be led by Ma'at to Osiris and be permitted to join with the celestial goddesses and gods for all eternity. Osiris, as I've said before, is the god of the underworld. He is depicted as being black or green because the underworld is powered by the astral light coming from Ma'at, the black sun. I want to remind you, these are personifications, not actual beings. The living waters that exist through the holy hole are just like the waters that we are immersed in upon birth. We were birthed into the world from our mothers, and we will be birthed out into a parallel dimension where the gods live, Asgard, Agartha. The location of this exit hole is simply where our compass needles are pointing to, begging us to come pass. They're attracted to the magnetic Mount Meru, which lies right near this center hole. Mount Meru is the Earth's crown chakra, and its equivalent is our own human crown chakra, at the top of our head. Our crown is our own microcosmic Mount Meru. When we sun gaze, we store the sunlight in our crown. Similarly, when the sun passes over the center hole near Mount Meru, the sunlight is stored through the hole, where it goes directly into the black sun and turns into the astral light. It's a consistent loop. Check out my video, Lucifer the Black Sun, for a more in-depth explanation. Our crown chakra is the chakra which integrates all other chakras. During this age of Aquarius we're in, we are at the energetic level which corresponds to this chakra, and therefore our consciousness is able to easily enter into a new divine realm of perception. Funny enough, in Sanskrit, the spine is called the Merudanda. When we have a Kundalini rising, our primal energy shoots up the spine, the Merudanda, where it finally hits our crown, our microcosmic Mount Meru. Mount Meru is what's left of the giant Tree of Life, which stood at the center of our plane. In many depictions of Yggdrasil, the Norse Tree of Life, we see a serpent in the underworld. The serpent is actually the green astral light. Just like our vital energy shoots up our spine when activated, hitting our microcosmic Mount Meru, the astral light shoots up and hits the actual Mount Meru. René Guénon, in his book The Lord of the World, says almost every tradition has its name for this mountain, such as the Hindu Meru, the Persian Alborz, and the Mont Salvat of Western Grail legend. There is also the Arab mountain Qaf, and the Greek Olympus, which has in many ways the same significance. This consists of a region that has become inaccessible to ordinary humanity. Me and my blood brethren are not ordinary humanity. We are removing the hexes that have been placed on us since birth through blood over intent. Our final declaration to the universe that we're here not to play into false realities, but to be bringers of light and truth, and thus we become aligned with the right principles that will let us drink from the living waters through the center vortex. There's been a war on the divine feminine principles in this plane of existence, but in Hyperborea, there exist societies based on these very principles. Therefore, it's paradise. The initial creation has not been so tampered with as it has been on this flat plane. The astral light is the life-giving yin energy of Earth and emanates throughout Hyperborea. We're living in a matrix, but the matrix isn't inherently bad. It has a virus, a sort of artificial intelligence, a malware that's been inserted and embraced. Our politicians and celebrities are actors. Most are transgendered, and many are not as they seem. You can call them demons, reptilians. At this point, the details don't matter. They're not divine creations, like we are. All of those spilling their blood have woken up to these facts, and we're leaving this infected reality. We are being called home, and our compasses will be our guide. This journey to the center will come together as more and more people align themselves with this intent. I've seen a lot of people in the comments try to organize trips themselves. You guys are getting ahead of yourselves. This has to be a mass exodus. The more our blood magic sinks in, the closer we are to going to Mount Meru, where we will take a dive into the holy hole, drink from the living waters, and pass into paradise. This is just as much a metaphysical journey as it is a physical one. It will all come together. If you're new to this and are severely confused, check out my previous videos or go over to Quasi Luminous if you like his style better. We are the ones who hold the Spear of Destiny, Everyone who spilt their blood holds the Spear of Destiny. We are getting to the Holy Grail at the center of the flat Earth plane, and nothing can stop us. Ultima Thule has been said to be the capital city of Hyperborea. The definition of Thule is the northernmost part of the habitable ancient world. And Ultima Thule has been said to mean the highest degree attainable. The center vortex, where we will go through and find Ultima Thule, is the highest degree attainable. Search Blood Over Intent, replicate the videos you see, and publish it beside ours. We are going to the center in a few years' time. In the meantime, keep sun gazing, speaking your divine intent, connecting with Mother Earth's energy and your own, and keep spreading these videos. Thank you for watching. Please take care of yourselves. I love you all.